get people to line up in order and to get out not just in time, but well within time, and get down to Ramsgate. So big round of applause. And we said, what we said has turned out to be true. We are leaving Britain to head across North Africa with the biggest round of aid, the biggest convoy of any type since General Montgomery crossed North Africa for very different purposes during the Second World War. And we know that the eyes of the world are upon us. The press coverage that today's event got was absolutely enormous, not just in Britain, but also throughout the Middle East and increasingly throughout Europe. And we also know that that's why our enemies would like to throw us off course in one way or another. Many different tricks, many different ways of trying to make us lose hearts, of trying to make us become cynical and defeatist about the enterprise that we're engaged in. So we know that the police were active last night, and we also know that the police were active at Ramsgate. What happened last night was that 9 brothers were detained, 3 are still detained, and we don't know exactly why. We're making inquiries about it. They have the best lawyers that we could muster in the northwest of England. They have the best of our team working in the northwest of England. 6 brothers, however, were released without charge, without any bail conditions. In other words, as innocent as when they were falsely arrested. And we know that, and now even the police know that. Because 15 minutes ago I had a phone call from Rob Hoveman, who also works for George and is anchoring our operation inside London and inside Britain. And he phoned me to say that the police now are working with us very cooperatively to try and get those 6 brothers back on the convoy. So, things can happen. We can move. We can face great difficulties. And I'd like personally to thank the team from Manchester who faced an extremely difficult evening, an extremely difficult night. Everyone works hard, people were driving through the night. No one works harder, and no one had more to deal with than the team from Manchester, which is not just held together, but it's held together so strongly that it's now going to be, inshallah, reunited with the 6 brothers. Sure. And there are going to be more difficulties ahead, as we saw at Ramsgate, and there are problems that we'll have to deal with. And again, we're trying to do the same operation. Those brothers who were falsely taken have the same support that the brothers had from Manchester. There's going to be many difficulties on many borders. I couldn't promise you otherwise, and you wouldn't believe me if I promised you otherwise. If I said it was going to be like a fun ride somewhere. None of us signed up for that trip. We signed up for an altogether different trip, which is why we've called you together, myself, Ishtiaq, the other team leaders, Sophia, Kieran, the other team leaders of the convoy, to bring you together now, not to have a big discussion amongst ourselves because people are tired, but to be honest, we're going to have many, many days to discuss amongst ourselves. But to get you to know each other in your groups, which are the principal way in which we're going to be able to organise this endeavour. It's not possible to have 2 or 3 people trying to organise 200 or 300 people. It is possible for people to be organised in groups, the 11 or 12 groups in which you've been situated. And for that reason, we insist that people stay within those groups. It's the only way that we can deal with all the obstacles that are thrown against us. Imagine if we didn't have that group organisation from Manchester last night. Where would we be? We wouldn't even know the names of the people who've been taken, let alone be in a position to try to get them back on the convoy, to meet us even, possibly, at 9:30 for the crossing on Wednesday from Spain to North Africa. So the group organisation is important. That's why all the team leaders are here, and I want you to move from this meeting, not into a discussion, not to a Q&A, but to move into a discussion with your team leader about how we're to overcome some difficulties tomorrow. I say some difficulties because anybody now must surely know that the difficulties on the road are less than the difficulties of being in a police station, whether it's in Manchester or, and I hope not, a police station elsewhere along this route from here to Rafah and into Gaza. So there are some difficulties tomorrow. It's a difficult drive. It's a long day. We've had a long day today. But we started with a success. We've ended with what, to my mind, is an unexpected success, but one which is deserved by the people in Manchester who are organising and the people on the convoy. So I'd like people to break into their groups now to discuss how we organise tomorrow. And you should know that after tomorrow, things don't automatically get easier, but the day after tomorrow, things are easier. We face a big drive through France tomorrow, but the day after that, we're in Spain. We're in the north of the country, in San Sebastian. The Basque country is putting on a massive reception for us. There'll be a rally, there'll be a press conference, there'll be food, there'll be a chance to meet people who are inspired by what we're doing. And then we're driving into the Spanish capital, where unlike in our own capital, they're closing the roads so we can drive through the centre. And that night, we drive down to Tarifa, and then across into Tangier to the great cities of Rabat and Casablanca. So please, break into your groups, don't leave this area. Group leaders, move, use all of this area so you can conduct your meetings without disturbing anybody else. Organise yourselves for tomorrow.